to see something completely different was, we couldn't accept it at first.
I really liked it, but my initial thought was, we can't do that.
They liked the drafts, but they somehow were afraid that we are going to cut off too much.
My name is Jan Dominicus, I'm 37 years old and I'm the Chief Business Development Officer for Mousesports. First time I joined Mousesports is in 2004 as part of a Warcraft 3 team, so that's now, if my math is right, 17 years ago. Mousesports also gave me my first job after I graduated from university, and over the course of my life, a lot of my close friends, a lot of great experiences have come in very close relation to Mousesports.
For me, Mousesports is a long time passion, and I grew up basically with Counter-Strike, and Mousesports was always there. I started as a CGO, which is obviously Chief Gaming Officer, and I was responsible for the gaming department. I'm Stefan Wendt, I'm 32 years old. I'm the CEO of Mousesports.
My name is René Lante. I'm the COO of MOUZ, and I'm with MOUZ for like past 15 years now. Mousesports is part of my life, has been a part of my life. I've met a lot of great people here that I don't want to miss, that I still talk to, and I've learned a lot from all of them. And it basically made me who I am today. I was the one who had the most trouble with it, because I basically grew up with the logo. It has been unchanged since I think 2002, 2003, shortly after the creation of MOUZ. And I basically saw this logo every day in, day out.
So of course, it's not easy to change something that you have been so emotionally attached to through all of the years.
It is very hard to think about something different. And at first I was probably one of the biggest criticizers of this whole idea to change the logo, but in the end it really felt like it was a must.
So yes, of course, it's difficult to let go of something that has so much history and is so well known around the world in esports, but at the same time I felt after 20 years we have to move forward and develop something that fits more into what we want to represent in the future.
Hi, my name is Henning. I'm a creative director and a managing partner at EIGA, a brand design agency in Hamburg. So during the workshops, we really understood that the brand has a very strong heritage and a very broad fan base out there, and we knew that as soon as we touched the logo, as we touched the brand, we touched something sacred for many people. But on the other hand, from a professional perspective, I guess it's obvious that we saw that the old logo was outdated to a really high degree. And to be honest, we did a kind of a survey here within the team and asked the people, what's that logo? What does it mean? What's it all about? And some of the designers here and also other people that we asked, they didn't even recognize that this is a mouse, or if it's an animal, it's kind of a rat or something.
People saw many different things in it, and we couldn't really define the one shape that it actually was. It was like the head of a mouse and also like a palm touching a PC mouse, but people saw like many different things in it.
We learned over time that the logo didn't fit the most requirements, and also on big stages, the bigger you put our logo on the stage or on the screen, it feels like everything gets ripped apart.
Once the idea was like basically there that we might consider doing a new logo, we contacted a few agencies that had done similar projects in the past, and we told them what we want to do and what the challenges were, and that we're like not scared but respectful to what our community and our fans had also invested into the old logo. It's, of course, as I said several times, a very emotional topic. And then we found, I think, someone who very well understood what challenges come with like a sports team logo compared to consumer brand, for example, that isn't as emotional.
I pretty good remember when MOUZ got in touch with us, and I saw the email, and I was quite excited because we've never been working for an esports club or something from somebody from that industry, but it's a mix of entertainment and sports, and therefore that's something that we are really familiar with. And yeah, we were quite excited. Everybody in the team was excited about this. Yeah, let me remember, I think I had a couple of phone calls with Jan Dominicus, and we were doing the initial planning for the brand relaunch, and then the first physical meeting, the first real meeting was taking place in October 2020.
Yeah, back then COVID was obviously a big thing. No vaccine around the corner, and we basically had to sit outside in the cold, and it was a bit odd. The first task for them was basically to show us something completely new, and to see something completely different was, we couldn't accept it at first.
My first reactions to the drafts we saw was, to be honest, I was really disappointed. I was shocked.
First time I saw the logo that ended up becoming the new Mousesports logo, I think from our side, the only one who thought that is going into the right direction.
So the overall aim was to really keep the heritage of the mouse, so the mouse head, and make it visible as a mouse and not as some kind of other animal. And on the other hand, we wanted to create something that really works at really small scale in the game and also on a mobile phone, and something that is still scalable and represents the strength of the brand when we scale it up. So that was kind of the thinking that we had within the design team, and we tried out different things, how to represent a mouse, and we came up with this very minimalistic version of the mouse head, which also has the M on top, and it's a badge. It looks like a sport badge.
We went back to the drawing board after seeing the new logo because it was too much of a change for us, and we wanted to modernize the old one. So we took different parts of it, and we created like 50 to 100 different versions of it, and we quickly realized it's harder than we thought to actually modernize a really old logo.
And that was something that we discussed a lot, and we went into another phase where we tried to really kind of save the old mouse head, and to work it over and to get the most out of this old logo and make it kind of new. And yeah, as you can hear, it was actually a painful experience, because if a logo doesn't work, it doesn't work.
At first it felt like a bad copy, and it was the more time we spent with these new drafts, it was clear that we can't keep anything of that. People will just crush us and flame us so hard that I mean, we could just stick to the old logo.
No matter what we did with the old logo, we tried to make it more modern, make it better, and it was only gonna get worse. So I think that was the point where everyone decided, well, it is simply impossible to make the old logo better. So it's either keep the old logo or do something entirely new.
We always had this badge logo on our desktops. We always saw it in different decks and presentations, and it was always around us. And from that time, we realized we have the perfect logo. We don't have to modernize the old one.
The more you look at it in different use cases, on the jersey, on some digital item or whatever drafts we had, I think every time I looked at it, I liked it more. And I think the same thing happened with everyone else within our group, and Stefan and René and Of course, the agency themselves, they were very convinced about that version. Like, you could feel that they were by far the happiest with that draft that they made.
Many people will first of all recognize the badge, the outer shape, the outline of the logo, and will think that it only represents the fact that this is a sports brand, an esports brand. But if you have a closer look at it, then you will see the mouse head inside, and you will see that it actually features two shapes, the mouse head and the outer shape of the badge. And the outer shape of the badge also represents the M, as you just mentioned, and in the end it also is kind of like a heart-shaped logo.
The new MOUZ logo stands for our new identity, and the most important thing in my eyes is that the logo is facing the fans. It's looking at the fans because we want to see the fans and we want to hear the fans, what they're saying. The first ever MOUZ logo, which many people don't know anymore, was actually a degree sign, the small letter O, another degree sign, which kind of mimics the head of a mouse facing forward.
For me personally, it represents a new start without forgetting or disregarding the rich history that we have in Mousesports. I think we had a logo that did a great job for 20 years, but I think the new logo represents, for me, a new era in Mousesports that also will help us continue to develop our brand for the next 20 years.
The new logo, first and foremost, stands for a new start. We want to redefine our profile. We want to be more in touch with our fans and take them on a journey with us. Not only on events, but also at a location in the future.